You can say it. You can say it. Oh, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to open session for the January 15th session of the Town Council of Forest Heights. Earlier this evening, the council, while discussing legislation, determined there was a need for a closed session to discuss a number of matters. And that session was entered into under the general provisions of Article subsection 3-305. And it was to discuss reason number one, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction. Any other personal matter that affects one or more specific individuals. And seven, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. The time of this closed session was 9:19 p.m. The motion to close the meeting was made by myself, Mayor Lilly, and seconded by Councilmember Hines. And Madam Clerk, can you just confirm that you had Councilmember Hines as the second for the closed session? You can let me know. I'll continue. Members in favor that voted in favor of going to the closed session were myself, Mayor Lilly, Council President McDonald, Councilmember Hines, Councilmember Noble, Councilmember Kennedy, Councilmember Brownson, Councilmember Little. Opposed were none. And the excuse me, it's persons attending the closed session were Mayor Lilly, Council President McDonald, Councilmember Hines, Councilmember Noble, Councilmember Kennedy, Councilmember Little, Councilmember Brownson, Councilmember Kennedy, if I didn't say that. And the authority was subsection 3-305. The topics that were actually discussed were the interim town administrator position, the specific individual holding that position, and we closed the session to discuss the particulars of that position and that individual. And reason seven was for obtaining legal advice, and this was to get legal advice relating to any actions taken or legislation passed regarding the interim town administrator. My apologies. Also present in the closed session were Chief Anthony Reese and Mr. Kevin Best, town attorney. The actions taken in the closed session were none. All right. We had a motion on the floor, and just give me a moment. Time that we came back into the session. Just mark that here. Okay. All right. We had a motion on the floor in relation to resolution 01-25. And it was a motion to adopt, and we were in discussion. At this time, I withdraw the motion to adopt. And instead, offer a motion to amend resolution 01-25. And I'm going to have Mr. Kevin Best read the changes or the proposed amendment to resolution 01-25.
Mr. Mayor, I'll read the resolution in its entirety, including the amendments. Town of Forest Heights, Resolution 0125. A resolution of the mayor and council of the town of Forest Heights, Maryland, accepting the resignation of Mr. John O'Connor from the offices of interim town administrator and reappointing Chief Reese as the interim town administrator. Introduced by Mayor Troy Barrington Lilly. Whereas on 2 occasions over the past 2 years, Mr. John O'Connor has stepped up to be appointed to serve as interim town administrator. And whereas interim town administrator O'Connor, by email to the mayor dated January 9th, 2025, has indicated that he intends to resign from his appointed interim office effective 90 days from the date of said email, which will be April 9th, 2024, or upon the formal appointment of a permanent town administrator by the mayor and town council, whichever event shall occur first. Let me reread that recitals because it requires a change. Whereas interim town administrator O'Connor, by email to the mayor dated January 9th, 2025, has indicated that he intends to resign from his appointed interim office effective 90 days from the date of said email, which will be April 9th, 2025, or upon formal appointment of a permanent town administrator by the mayor and town council, whichever event shall occur first. And whereas pursuant to Resolution 2424 approved on May 15, 2024, upon cessation of his service and additional duties as interim town administrator, Mr. O'Connor shall revert to his previous duties as part-time ARPA program manager until the end of the fiscal year. And whereas pursuant to Section 3318 of the town charter, part-time subordinate officers and employees of the town may be hired by the mayor on an as-needed basis without council consent, except that notice of said employment shall be provided to the council. Now therefore, be it resolved and enacted that the town council hereby approves and accepts the resignation of Mr. John O'Connor as the interim town administrator consistent with the terms stated in the above recitals, except that his appointment as interim town administrator shall end immediately, provided he remain as ARPA program manager. And be it further resolved that the mayor or his designee shall cause all pertinent intergovernmental financial pension plan administration or bonding institutions and bank or other records to be informed and or modified to reflect the change in status of said departing town interim official. Be it further resolved that regardless of accepting as modified his resignation, the appointment of Mr. O'Connor as ITA, interim town administrator, shall end immediately, and he shall revert to the part-time position of ARPA project manager. Be it further resolved that Chief Reese is hereby reappointed as interim town administrator effective immediately to serve in said position at the added salary of $21.17 per hour or $846.80 per week, as further authorized by the town council. Passed this 15th day of January, 2025. Signed by the mayor and the council president.
It has, did I get a second on the amendment?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we amend Resolution 01-25 with the changes that Mr. Kevin Best, the town attorney, just read into the record. Is there a discussion? Council President McDonald? Council President, you have the
Yes.
floor.
Question. I want to know, why is it only my name on that resolution? My name and the mayor, not the council.
Actually, my name is the only one on there, but if would we like to, anyone else like to sponsor?
I'm not sponsoring it. I'm sorry.
Your name's not on it, Council President, is it?
No,
Mr. Best?
I heard
not
Jamila
a sponsored, it's signed because all resolutions have to be signed by you too.
I understand that part, but I thought that in terms of the person who's introducing the motion. Who's
So,
introducing the motion?
I'm introducing the motion. It was seconded by Councilmember Hines. The sponsor currently only has my name on it.
Okay,
Council
thank-
President, your name is only there on the signature line if
Thank you.
if the resolution is passed and adopted. Is that clear? Does that make sense? You're on mute, Council President, if you're speaking right now.
I said thank you, yes.
Thank you for the question. Is there any other discussion on the amendment to Resolution 01-25? Hearing none. Madam Clerk? Oh, I'm sorry, my apologies. All in favor of amending Resolution 01-25, please signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed?
Opposed.
I think I heard Councilmember Brownson, Hines, Kennedy.
President McDonald opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. So I heard 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to find out from Councilmember Noble and Little what your votes were.
Aye.
All right, the motion carries. Do we need an additional amendment, or I'll entertain an additional amendment if members of the body want to have their name added as a sponsor to Resolution 01-25 as amended?
Can you please tell me what the final vote count was?
The final vote count was there was one opposed and there were 5 yays.
So did the mayor vote?
My apology. I vote yay. It was my motion, but I vote yay.
So six
So
yay,
6
one.
yays and one opposed.
Thank you.
All right. Any members wish to be added as a sponsor to the resolution as amended? Councilmember Hines, anyone else? All right. I move that we amend Resolution 01-25, adding Councilmember Hines as a sponsor. Do you want a second? It has been moved and seconded that we amend Resolution 01-25, adding Councilmember Hines as a sponsor. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, the motion has been amended. Madam Clerk, if you could let the record reflect, there was amendment both to the resolution contents and to the sponsor, adding Councilmember Hines. At this time, I move that we adopt Resolution 01-25 as amended.
I second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 01-25 as amended. Madam Clerk, let me know when you're ready to call the vote.
I'm ready, Mr. Mayor.
All right, please call the vote.
Council President McDonald,
Abstain.
forgive me, Council President McDonald, was that an abstention?
Yes, abstain. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember Brownson,
Yes.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilmember Hines,
Yes.
Councilmember Noble,
Yes.
Mayor Lilly,
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 abstention, the motion carries.
All right, thank you. Resolution 01-25 is adopted as amended. All right, next we have Resolution 02-25, and this is a resolution to amend Resolution 01-23, approving a merit system pay scales for the town of Forest Heights, general government employees, and sworn personnel by capping the pay scale and making other certain changes. Let me ask a question. Has there been sufficient discussion on this item? Are we ready or in the position to adopt, or do we need to have discussion on this? Opening to council. Council member Noble, I saw your hand go up the fastest.
Oh, thank you. I believe we need more discussion, and part of this discussion for me, I would like to have the maybe the treasurer's input as on the financial, if it will cause a financial hardship, changing the pay scale, changing it back, or not having a pay scale. So I need further discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, I will, we won't vote on this resolution tonight. We will just discuss it, and we can look at bringing it back for a vote if there's support at the first February meeting. But let's open resolution 02-25 up for discussion. And I'll just add briefly that this is designed to formally adopt a limit on the scales that were passed and some changes with the understanding that we'll be able to remain within the budget that we've set and recognize the town's position financially, where we're trying to achieve financial strength, and then also be able to compensate, give employees and staff and leadership a clear explanation of how we can compensate employees based on the budget that we're likely to pass for upcoming year. And I see Councilmember Brownson's hand is up. You have the floor.
Thank you. I didn't get a copy of the pay scale that's going with this resolution. Did I miss something, or did everyone get a copy? Because you said, I know it's capped at step 10 and you said other changes. So can we get a copy of what's being proposed?
The attachment,
Yes.
we can get a copy of the attachment.
I
Yes.
think we all should have it. Anytime we voting on something, we should have, see what it is we're voting on.
Thank you, Councilmember. So,
Oh, and
based on-
I'm sorry. I was just want to make one more comment about that. And and are you trying to make these changes for the next fiscal year? Or are you trying to change it as soon as it's passed?
as soon as it's passed.
Oh, so that brings in a whole different scenario. So okay, I think it should definitely have more discussion.
Thank you, Councilmember Hines. Any other discussion on resolution 02-25?
That was Brownson that just spoke.
My apologies. My apologies. Thank you, Councilmember Brownson. Okay, so 2 instructions, Madam Clerk. If we can get the attachment, this file that's referenced is a resolution 01-23. And there is an actual pay scale, which is part of that. We just need to have that in front of council so they can understand what the numbers are that are being adjusted, what rates will be, what rate we're currently at or scale we're at, and then what the cap will be. And Chief Reese, if you can see to it that if the clerk doesn't have the information readily available, that she'll be able to get it. Thank you. All right. Well, I move that I'll entertain a motion to table resolution 02-25 until the February meeting when we get additional supporting documentation, which will be sent to council before the next meeting.
I second.
Well, I was entertaining a motion, so how about you make the main motion?
I make a motion that we table, is it, or just?
Yes.
Resolution, is it 02,
yes.
02-25 until the next is it the next meeting that we're doing this?
Yes, work session.
Yes.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. We table resolution 02-25 until the first February meeting. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, the motion passes. this resolution will be brought back on February 3rd, which is the first meeting in February. And between now and that time, council will get the attachments, the pay scales, and any other information needed for this resolution? Okay, very good. All right. Well, the time is now 10:26, and this meeting is adjourned. Have a good night.
Good night. Be safe. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.